Hello everyone, and welcome to this episode of the Darktable from A to Z series. Today's topic is the contrast, brightness, saturation module. This module can be found in the basic group. If you cannot see it, you'll have to look for it in the more modules. And enable it. There you go. You'll be shocked to know that this module allows you to adjust the contrast, brightness, and saturation of the image. As we've already discussed, there are multiple ways of doing most adjustments in Darktable, and there are certainly more versatile and powerful modules to work on the contrast, brightness, and saturation of your image. But this is a handy little module for quick edits. It is in the basic group, and it helps you to adjust, or it allows you to adjust all three from one single module. The first slider allows you to adjust the contrast. The contrast is the range between the darkest pixel in the image and the lightest pixel in the image. And this is displayed here in the histogram, as you can see. So the width of the histogram is the amount of contrast you have in your image. Notice how if I decrease the contrast, the histogram width decreases with it, and you get a very dull image. The next slider is brightness. As you can imagine, and as you can see it on the histogram above, if I pull it to the right, I increase the lightness or the perceived lightness of the image, and you can see the whole histogram being pulled to the right. Pulling it to the left does exactly the opposite. The obvious question here is, would you use brightness to lighten an image or exposure, as we've discussed in a previous video, and what is the difference between them? Exposure refers to the amount of light that hit your camera sensor, while brightness is the end perceived brightness or lightness of an image after processing. However, we could change exposure in the exposure module, as we've discussed earlier. A bit of research shows that brightness extends the contrast between the bright areas and mid-tones of an image and the dark tones, while exposure expands the whole range equally. If the brightest pixel of an image was at 80% white, it would be 100, and if the mid-tone was at 40%, it would be at 50%. While if you used brightness, the 40% might, these numbers are not correct, but just for an example, the 40% might be stretched to 70%, and the 80% would be stretched to 100%. The last slider is saturation. Saturation refers to the color intensity in the picture. Increasing it would add more color. Decreasing it would desaturate the image and remove color information. Decreasing it all the way would give you a black and white image. As I said at the start, it is a rather simple module, but it allows you to change three basic qualities of your image in one module. So let's give it a shot and see if we can process this image using only this module. Start by brightening it a bit and then adding some contrast and some saturation. Doesn't look too bad. Of course, there are much better ways of processing this image, and especially those three attributes. So let's see what we ended up with here. Go to before contrast, take a snapshot, and compare the two. If you need a quick edit just to try to decide whether a picture is worth spending some time on or not, it's not too shabby. Well, that's it for this time. A short video on a simple module, but that can be quite helpful if you need it. I hope that you found this video interesting and entertaining. If you have any questions, requests, or corrections, please leave them in the comments below. And until next time, bye bye.